Hey guys, welcome back to another video here. In this video, I've come home with some more critters that I've never kept before, and they're some native Australian SPINIFEX hopping mice. And as you can see, I've already got a terrarium behind me here all set up for them. Let's jump in and have a look at how I set that up. The enclosure that I'm using for this build is a Reptile 1 terrarium. It's referred to as a 960 HT, which means it's a hinged terrarium and it's at a tall terrarium. The dimensions on it are 90 centimeters by 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters. You can see here that I'm adding in a bunch of reptile sand. This is just 10 kilos of the Reptile 1 fine desert sand. I find this stuff's really good. It's nice and fine, it's not too compact. And what I'm going to do here is actually mix it through with a bunch of washed Sydney sand as well. And what you'll be able to see is that the Sydney sand almost picks up the kind of red coloration from the desert sand. And I almost use the Sydney sand as a bit of a bulking agent. I thoroughly mix it together just so it takes on the exact same colour and shape as far as all the sand goes. I start adding in some of these bark hides as well. These are natural bark hides that you can get out in the bush. I'm lucky enough to have a family member that lives over on a farm up in the country, and every now and then I go and get a delivery of these awesome hollow logs. I decided that I'd add in a whole bunch of twigs and things that I'd collected as well. These can just act as a bit of a foraging medium for these little guys to nestle into. They can use it for bits of bedding and that if they want to gnaw on it. They can use it to polish their teeth up. It's just another thing to just add another dimension to the cage. Here you can see a little grass tussock that I've been able to cut. And a good way to kind of harvest these is just by wrapping a little zip tie around a tussock that you find out in the bush. You can kind of just cut it off from the base. It's a good idea to kind of just snip the end of the zip tie off just so then it's not going to be in the mice's way or in any sort of protruding eye level. These little guys really need a whole bunch of foraging medium to be in there, so things like dried out gum leaves. I've even going to add in a little bit of like hay bedding that they can use. They can use it as a bit of a nesting material. This is all things that they can kind of get their mouth into, get gnawing, get creative with, and it's a little bit of enrichment for these little animals. This oat and hay is a really awesome type of material that I've just managed to whack in underneath this hollow log, and this is where they actually ended up spending their first night. Once we had this all together, they were all nestled right into there, keeping nice and warm together. I thought that it wasn't exactly leafy enough, so I managed to get my hands on some more dried gum leaves and twigs, and I thought I'd add all of this in there as well and just give more foraging opportunities for these little guys. You know, I don't think they can really have enough, to be quite honest, and it just all adds into bedding material. I'm going to try out a shallow water bowl for these guys, but I might end up swapping it out to a hopper later on. So something I will probably end up doing to this cage is actually blurring out the sides with some black core flute or some black vinyl, because as you can see, you can actually see through the sides there at the moment. I don't particularly like that, but I have actually got the mice with me right now, so I can't do that just yet. It will be something that I can do down the line. Something that I did do to this Reptile 1 terrarium though is I actually did replace this panel with glass. So this was usually the mesh panel that goes here for a bit more ventilation, but seeing as we got so much mesh on the roof anyway, I didn't bother going through with that, and I thought, you know what, that mesh panel is usually plastic. I just didn't want to risk it, just in case they decided they were going to be able to chew through that and they actually got out. And as you can see, I've actually got a few more plants and bits and pieces in there now, heaps more wood for them to kind of cruise through. Might feel a bit more secure. Something else I also did is I added in a little exoterra hide underneath here, so there's just somewhere else that they can actually hide. And I will fill up that water bowl there and put some food in there as well. And then we're going to have a look at these mice, hey? I'm super excited about these guys. I have a feeling that I'm going to get countless hours of fun watching these guys hop around through here. And it's going to change up as they kind of progress through here and nibble on things and chew through things. I'm sure this isn't the last rendition of this enclosure that we're going to see, but at least it's a nice amount of space for them to get into and hop around and enjoy themselves. It's just got a simple LED light above it. You would have seen this on potentially one of my other builds in the past. It's just a Aqua One strip glow. I believe it's the plant grow light, and you can kind of control the dimness and things on it. It's a basic LED, but it's just going to be enough to illuminate these guys. These guys don't need to be punched down with a whole bunch of heat or anything like that. As far as the care sheet that I've got says, is basically just keep them in a warmish room and don't really supply them any heat. And I have a feeling that this reptile room is going to be a nice little area for them to hang out in. Jeez, that frog's noisy. Settle down, mate. You're croaking up a storm. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they're going to make a good little addition to this reptile room here, and I'm absolutely obsessed with these arid animals, so it's going to be good fun. These guys have been in this box for a little while now, so no doubt they actually want to get right out of here, and we'll get them into something a little bit more substantial. I have filled up a bit of a monster food bowl for them, just to see if they've got a bit of an appetite. Probably overdid it, but you know what, this is what came out of the back in one hit. What I might end up doing is just kind of scooching a bit of the sand away. It's gone all nice and tough, which is good. Means they might be able to make some burrows in it long term. So they've got their food there, little cave there. Got a water bowl that's just shallow but filled up. They will have to check on that kind of on a daily or at least bi-daily basis. These guys are pretty good at water retention, so it's not their highest need, but at the same time, any live animal, it's always good to give them fresh, clean water on a daily basis. We've got a nice big hide underneath over there that's got plenty of space so they can have a little communal den. And this hollow here as well is a really big hollow log and goes the whole way back, so there's plenty of hiding space in there for them. And there should be a fair amount of room for these guys to hop around in. So I'm going to do my best now to get these guys in the enclosure without letting them loose all over the floor here and having Danny and I chase them around trying to encourage them back into their home. Alright, please behave, you little fellas and gals. Be adventurous. We got the first one out. Wonder if I can pick up their little home and give them some encouragement. Come on, guys. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put the little tank down here and see if they want to come out on their own accord. Gently close this up so they don't end up out in the floor. Check out these little guys. How adorable are these little dudes? Got these awesome tails that are so long when you compare them to their body, and they got these awesome little tufts on the end of them as well. You can see how they get their name, the hopping mouse, as well. They're hopping all around these little boxes, and soon enough they're going to be bounding around all over this enclosure investigating it all. But I'll let them get out on their own accord. There's some pretty young mice here as well, so they're from a couple of different colonies essentially. Really sorry about the frog, guys. Unfortunately, this kind of room is just what you're going to get. You're going to get all different critters and all different noises. One more out of the box. Come on, mate. Get a big wide world there. Alright, I'll go in and get that box out now. go. They're already explored almost every inch of this enclosure as well. I'll lock these guys in so they're nice and secure. And they're straight into the food. How bloody cute. It's one thing that we really suffer with in New South Wales here is being able to keep native Australian animals as pets. I know Mitch has talked extensively on this on multiple podcasts and all sorts of places over the internet, and I have to agree with him that this place is a little bit hard when it comes to native fauna. In New South Wales, we're only able to keep these guys and the plains rat as well, and plains rat don't exactly make the best kind of pets. These guys are a little bit more tolerant to a wide variety of conditions and tend to be a little bit more suited to captivity. But it would be nice to be able to have a few more options out there that might encourage people to keep natives as pets rather than things like cats and domestic mice and rats and things like that. I can just see me going to kick back with a beer tonight and watch this. This is just awesome. This is something that's been in the works for a little while now too, so it's really cool to have it finally come into fruition. I know this enclosure is not going to look the same after a little while, but you know what? I don't care. These things are just something that's completely bizarre to me. I have kept rodents in the past and bred domestic rats and different coat types and things like that, but this is something that's just that next level for me, and I think this is going to be something that's way more enjoyable and up my alley these days. Why don't we go and get Danny and see what she thinks about all this commotion? Danny's here and she's just checking out these SPINIFEX hopping mice as well. What do you reckon, babe?
So cute.
Look at the little stretch on that guy.
He's saying hi to me. Hi, buddy. Aww.
That was the little stretch.
That's so cute. They get quite tall, don't they?
Yeah, when they stretch out like that. You can hear them already chewing around on bits of wood and things like that in there.
Look at that one.
They've already checked out that little burrow that I've put in there for them heaps. I might do that with a couple more reptile hides just to kind of create some little safe spaces for them. Bouncing all over the joint. He's cleaning his tail.
I think they like it.
How mad are these little critters?
No.
They're so cute. Something interesting about these guys is they are able to process so much water efficiently in their bodies that they don't really create the same sort of urine smells that most domestic rats and mice actually do, which was a big thing for me because having kept both of those kind of animals in the past, we didn't really want to have smelly animals here. So apparently, you know, if you were to leave these guys months and months and months without cleaning them and not put in the work that you need to, then of course, like any animal, it would end up smelling. But that goes for reptiles and frogs and things like that too. If you don't look after them, that they can end up smelling. So, you know, if you put in the work, these little guys could be fun little companion pets to have in your home. And how cool is it to have a little bit of arid Australia right here?
So cool.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the new additions just as much as I think I'm going to. These guys have been so entertaining. I've been just hanging around here for about the last 20 minutes just watching these things. I dare say I'm going to come back in here a little bit later at night when the lights are off as well and check them out. Again, guys, I'm so sorry about that little fillet grower. He's just going bonkers tonight. So, you know what? There's a bit of rain about. It's a bit of a different pressure system. This is just going to happen on some of these videos because this is my wildlife. My little Aussie natives as well. These guys are so cool. I've just been watching them dig around and bust holes through things and absolutely destroy the enclosure. They're so cool. So if you are in Australia, maybe that's something you should consider, some native mammals as a pet. And if you can't keep them in your state, then maybe you should start pushing Parliament a little bit and saying, hey, why can't we keep these things? You know, it'd be good to get a few more people on the bandwagon as to why we can't keep native animals over a lot of these other domesticated animals. At the end of the day, these guys are going to make fantastic little additions here and keep me super entertained. And you know, they don't take too much care. You do need a mammal license for these guys here in New South Wales. I know other states it might be a little bit different, of course, but anyway, guys, enough rambling from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed these new little additions. We're going to be seeing plenty of these guys in the future. It's definitely not going to be the last rendition of this enclosure. I can already tell because they're already destroying things and digging around and doing whatever. And that's okay. That's up to them. Until next time, guys, me and my little hopping mice friends will see you on the next video. Take it easy.